And it's deep. Like names like Al-Qaradawi, when you hear that name has been villainized for so long. You couldn't even mention his name and use him as a reference for a basis for any type of debate. And it's deep that we're not respecting scholarship for being scholars. And now so it seems to me since the politics has been so strong and people have been speaking ill of these names, that it's almost like for American scholarship, the reputation of the American scholarship, or the reputation of the American duat, has to be in the forefront so that he can go and research and go through these different perspectives and these different positions, leave out a lot of those names, and sign it himself, and saying that this is the correct position, this is the correct um, perspective, or this is what is this is you know this is what's going to work best for our people. Being able to present things like that without prejudice. It seems like the names have to be left out, and presenting their evidences and their arguments on an American platform seems to be the strategy.
Yes, and you make a fine point concerning what you're saying, respecting scholarship for scholarship. This is something that many of us in our cultivation, if you will, many of us in our rearing into our faith, into the adulthood of our faith, many of us are past the infant and adolescent years of our spiritual development. So as we are approaching adulthood in our faith, we have to enter into a space where we understand the reference of scholarship, even scholarship that we happen to disagree with, be our disagreement with that scholarship in an area of law or in the area of theology. We may even rebut what we disagree with in an area of law or area of theology, or simply not accept what we disagree with. However, none of that takes away from the reverence that a person receives because of the level of scholarship that he or she possesses. And we find that this is actually from the etiquette of scholarship and how we see the scholars interacting with one another, even in their disagreements with one another. Again, be those disagreements in area of law or be those disagreements in area of theology, we still find scholarship having respect for one another because of scholarship, because of piety, because of worship. And anyone that is familiar with the interaction that scholarship has had with itself during the classical period, during the medieval period, and even during contemporary times that we live in, the examples of this are nothing short of a plethora. And this does not have to negate, this does not have to conflict with standing up for the truth or calling to what one believes to be correct or enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. For all of this, it doesn't negate the virtue that still exists among scholarship. For example, our Lord states, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. Certainly those who are awe-inspired by Allah amongst the servants are scholarship. And this is open in general for all of scholarship. And all the texts that we have in Quran and Sunnah concerning scholarship is the condition is scholarship. The condition is to be a disciple of knowledge. The condition is to be on the path in order to receive these rewards and this reverence that is spoken about all throughout the text. Being raised, being forgiven, being respected, the angels bowing their wings, all of this. So then we have to understand these realities. And of course, on the American side, upon American soil, we just simply have to adjust ourselves and get with the program. But we do see that definitely this is beginning to be the case. And we have to understand as well that it is also possible, even with our differing areas of law or theology, that there may be issues that are just so big and so strong that all of scholarship has to come together in order to address an issue. And we see this, for example, we see that we have world fit councils and things like this, where we see scholarship from the broad spectrum of scholarship, from the broad spectrum of theologies coming together to address those issues that are impacting the Muslim world at large.